Time now for Entre Nous. On the show today, we're discussing the Paris photo exhibition, which kicks off at the Grand Palais from the 13th and runs through the 16th of November. I'm pleased to welcome artistic director Anna Planas and Gauri Gill, a Delhi-based artist whose series The Village on the Highway is being shown. Anna, let me begin with you. Tell us more about this expo.
Yeah, so Paris Photo is the main photography fair in the world. So as you just say, it opens tomorrow. It will be its 28th edition. So it's taking place at the Grand Palais that has been recently renewed. Actually, last year we came back to the Grand Palais after 3 years of renovation. So it's an extended fair that we are presenting.
And how do you go about picking which artists from all over the world will be showcasing at the Paris Fair?
Yes, so actually, Paris Photo is a fair, so we are inviting galleries to participate.
Okay.
And during the year, we are traveling also in different countries to look for projects, to look for galleries, and we work also with a selection committee to be able to welcome 180 galleries to the show.
And it's a commercial fair?
It is a commercial fair, but since we are the main fair for photography in the world, we also have a role of a rendezvous. So it's a moment where all the photography world, all the artists, so of course the galleries, museums, publishers meet at that moment. So we welcome a lot of artists at the fair. We have more than 1,000 artists. We have more than 400 signatures in our publisher section. So it's a big momentum for photography.
Gauri, let me bring you in because you're one of the artists whose work is going to be exhibited. How are you feeling?
Well, it's wonderful to be here. I've never been at Paris Photo and I've never shown here. So it's a wonderful moment. It's a part of the fair that is curated by a very, interesting curator, Dr. Devika Singh. And she wanted to look at the landscape in a new way. So for me, and I'm showing pictures of the farmers' protest in Delhi in 2021, called The Village on the Highway. So it's an interesting context.
Your work tends to focus on rural communities in India. Was there anything specific that drew you to the rural part of the country?
Well, I myself am from Punjab. I come from farming stock. My grandfathers left to join the army, but you never really leave, right? And the land is in you in a sense. So while I grew up in an urban context and I live in New Delhi, at a certain point, I found myself back to the rural via Rajasthan, which is a state bordering Punjab, and have now, been working in rural India, I guess, for since 99, 25 odd years.
And you tend to revisit your subjects. Does that happen often with photographers? And what's it like for you?
For me, it's very hard to let go. And I have met such extraordinary people who have opened everything to me and become great friends. And it's one of the privileges of my life that I could, become friends with these people. And photography, in a sense, is only it's only a tool which actually enable these relationships, So for me, in a way, photography, I try and honor that experience. I don't think photography can ever honor the actual experience, but my lifelong attempt is to try and honor this experience. These are people in precarity, in great, often in very difficult circumstances, and who find really ingenious ways to prevail. And I'm in utter admiration of that.
Because you spoke about the farmer protests, which we saw in the run-up to COVID, I believe. What was that like for you? And we're going to show some images of now. If you can talk about the images which we're going to show up of a tractor and a man lying on his side, I believe.
Yes, so, the farmers came to Delhi to protest. There were 3 laws which were introduced, which are to do with the deregulation of agriculture. These are people whose lives are impacted profoundly, right? They are on the front line of everything, whether you talk of climate change, whether you talk whatever crisis the world is going through. Farmers, if you think about it, small farmers, these are not big industry or, big. So these are people who actually face the brunt of these laws and yet they were not consulted. So they came to protest en masse. They were stopped on the borders of Delhi, and they sat down there, and all they have is their bodies, their tools. They came in farming vehicles, which they didn't know that they're going to have to end up, they will be in the world's longest protest, which will go on for 54 weeks, which will take the lives of 720 farmers. They didn't know that, right? They didn't know that they're going to sit through an excruciating summer, monsoon, dengue, freezing winter. And so they just sat there. And then the vehicles began to morph and transform into different kinds of architecture of resistance. So a lot of the farmers were, in fact, photographing their own struggle and tweeting and Instagramming. And initially, I just went to extend solidarity. I wasn't even planning to photograph. But when I saw these structures and I saw that no one was, making pictures of these amazing structures that appeared, these speaking structures, I thought I must document them. So I started to go back with my film camera and very slowly just document those structures, which to me embody this lived struggle.
Because in India, there's a very big difference between the urban part of the country and the rural part of the country. And so what's it like for you as an artist when you go to rural India, capture your subjects, and you can go back to Delhi or wherever you live? Yes,
absolutely. And, when I was younger, I raised those questions for myself. Should I even be here? Because I don't live here. But, I think those people and those contexts have saved me, because I think we, not just in India, but across the world, it's very unequal. It's very siloed, and we all exist in these sort of Teflon bubbles.
Yeah.
And these people have expanded my imagination. And of course, we are so closely linked. It's an interdependent world. If we cannot, as urban people, see the links with the farmers who feed us, who enable our very existence. If we can't see that, and if we think we are able to exist in this bubble, good luck to us.
I don't know if you've followed, but couple of last year we had farmers in this country on strike, and we had tractors in Paris. So very similar scenes were repeated here. Do you, because Paris, the audience at the Paris photo exhibition will be quite international, how do you think your work will transcend those borders?
I think rural people across the world are in retreat. I think corporations and powerful interests, embodied by corporations, big technology, they are, it's a huge struggle, right? It is David versus Goliath in that sense. So I think the farmers in Delhi certainly understood that. They are in solidarity with farmers across the world, not just farmers. I think it's indigenous people, it's women, it's migrants, it's immigrants. It's, I think the caravan is going to be big and broad. The caravan of this struggle is not just it's about small farmers, and it's about big power and people who are trying monoliths, who are trying to swallow up these individual, plural. I mean, basically, we do not live in a world which can be contained by one imagination.
And when you think of the work that Gauri is discussing, her work which she's discussing, and you think of what we saw here in France in terms of the farmer protests, and the same thing which is the powers that be trying to affect small agricultural rural voices, do you also see similarities with what we witnessed here?
Yes, I think that this is also the power of photography, to have the chance to have very important artists. It's an honor to welcome important voices as Gauri Gill. I think that each one of us can see in the exhibition, in the diversity of what is shown, something from our everyday lives.
And Gauri, what's up next? When you think, I know you have a current exhibition now underway that's going to get underway, but when you look into the future, what are you thinking of for your next potential project?
So I am working on multiple things all the time. These 2 books have just come out in a small format of 2 series where I collaborate with Adivasi indigenous artists in Maharashtra. And they're in edition 2 and 3, but we decided to bring out pocket-sized versions, which are cheaper, easier to carry, more ecological. So these have just come out, and I'm going to do a book signing.
At the fair?
At the fair, or 3 p.m. on Friday.
Okay. Gauri, we're going to have to leave it there. Gauri Gill, Anna Planas, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us about the Paris photo exhibition, which will be getting underway here in the French capital. Thank you very much for watching.